This newest chapter of One Punch Man is a complete and utter flex by the artist Murata. Unbelievable double pages, crazy perspective shots of Earth. Garo flies out into the atmosphere and does the pinnacle of martial arts technique on Sage Centipede. Wow, guys, I'm Mastar. Thanks for coming to check out the video, and I'm just blown away at this chapter. It didn't develop too much in terms of the story, but Murata just took his time here to show off, and I love it. For fans who love the manga for the art specifically, this is a chapter for you. Okay, opening up with the cover page, they're standing in turbulent waves, the strongest. I love this shot of Saitama. He looks so hard here, dude, ready to battle. Although right now in the manga, he still has his silly face on. There's only one little shot of him here. And I know everybody really wants to see Saitama fight Garo, but it should probably happen in the next chapter unless the S-rank heroes put on one last-ditch effort to fight Garo. So here we get a skinny pig god. This was extremely interesting, and a Mai mask is alive. So he had been ripped in half. Fur Ugly grabbed his legs and just straight up ripped his body in half, and we thought he might be dead, but he has regeneration capabilities. You can even see like the veins in his abdomen there. So he is a monster and he can regenerate. They didn't explain why Pig God is skinny, but I guess just from using so much energy, saving people and fighting, it turned him skinny and everything. So he's like, before I move, I got to eat first. And here he is actually eating gums. And it's kind of hilarious. It grosses out of my mask. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's kind of like Choji from Naruto. Like, he's fat, he eats a lot, and then when he uses all of his energy up, he goes skinny again, something like that. And then out in the distance, Pig God sees Sage Centipede flying up in the air, chasing after his heart that Garo had ripped out in the last chapter and rocketed out into the sky. So at the end of the last chapter, Garo pierced through Sage Centipede, ripped out his regeneration heart, rocketed out into the sky, and then they both leaped up into the atmosphere at it. And I gotta say, the jump from Garo is crazy. But at the same time, he's actually running up the back of Sage Centipede. So I guess he can't jump that high out into like the atmosphere of space and everything, but he's like grippling onto Sage Centipede, like following him up, riding him up as he's chasing after the heart. Murata does unbelievable panels in this chapter. Foreshortening, speed, perspective like you couldn't even possibly comprehend from a normal human being. We just get these breathtaking scaled shots of the planet, of the atmosphere, of the moon. You can see here Sage Centipede just launching up out into the sky with tremendous strength. I mean, it's crazy that he can even just stand up like that, like just some tower reaching up to the moon. And you can even see the detail on the city lights down below. I mean, Murata, when he does landscapes, the man does landscapes. Sage Centipede is able to latch onto his heart using his forcipules. I had to actually look that one up. I didn't know what those fangs were called. But yes, he's able to use his forcipules to latch onto that heart, and he's obviously very happy. Like, that was a huge risk to him because he can't regenerate, and I guess Garo and Metal Bat's damage was getting way too high for him, so he was desperate to, get that back. But Garo starts sprinting up the back of Sage Centipede, running all the way up to his head, and then launching himself up into the sky, landing on the heart that's above Sage Centipede, looking downwards at Sage Centipede. Look at the angular disposition of this shot. I mean, you have Garo from above looking down at this crazy angle, which also shows the ground with the lights, the foreshortened body of Sage Centipede going all the way down to the ground as a dot. I just can't wrap my head around how Murata is able to envision these storyboarding layouts in his head. It's just unreal levels of artistic capability. With that, Garo launches himself downwards, using the heart as a stepping stone to press towards Sage Centipede at incredible speeds. And in doing so, he destroyed the stepping stone, he destroyed the heart by using it as leverage up out in the atmosphere in the sky. I mean, what the hell is going on here? As any fan of One Punch Man and Garo and just Murata, Like, you can't help but drink up these panels with your eyes. The action sequences in this manga are unparalleled, and in my opinion, One Punch Man is right now the best manga out there. So as Garo's coming in to lay a strike, he has a flashback of his training with Silverfang. So back when Garo was just a student, they were breaking some tiles. This guy's name is Sourface, and he was actually in the tournament. He was talking to Saitama as Saitama wore the wig and, you know, was misrepresenting himself. And he's like, these tiles are made of ceramic, nobody can break these. And that's when you hear Garo in the back just shatter all of them with a single blow. But not all of them. He got all but just one. And Garo here in this flashback is very proud of himself, and nobody else can believe it. The other students couldn't even break one. And Garo says that's how it all started. And as for now, I've reached the epitome of martial arts. And he comes down in with this thunderbolt of a strike, basically using Elder Centipede as a giant stack of martial arts tiles. And Elder Centipede is going to get split in half. I don't know how many miles long this guy is, like 10,000 miles long or whatever. But Garo, using the heart that he threw up in the air as a stepping stone to launch back down towards the earth, uses full power martial arts technique, is able to crash into the face of Sage Centipede and completely split him in half all the way down to the earth. Take a moment to just breathe in and look at this beautiful, unbelievable shot. Atmospheric perspective scale of Earth with a coordinated foreshortened angle of Sage Centipede flowing back down into that Earth while taking detailed amounts of cataclysmic damage to his body. I don't know how you design or draw something like this, but that's why Murata is the GOAT. And as Garo is thundering down through the middle of Sage Centipede, he remembers when Sage Centipede said that he was divine retribution, crashing down into Earth, fully splitting him apart and saying wrong before posing on that mofo with this just most ungodly drawn picture of Garo. I mean, God, dude, I couldn't even breathe like when I saw this picture. There are not enough words in the dictionary to describe the epicness of this shot. I mean, look at this. Foreshortening, detailed, moon in the background, waves crashing. I mean, what do you want me to say? This guy, Murata, as Garo flexes on Sage Centipede, Murata is flexing on all the other artists of the world because he is like a mountain and you're an ant, and it's like, try and catch up to that dude. I don't even know, man. It's just too damn good. It's too damn good. So the super fight is imminent. Awakened Garo versus Saitama could possibly be coming in 2 weeks in the next chapter. There is still a chance, based on the webcomic, that the heroes, specifically the S-Class, will put up one last final fight against Garo before Saitama comes in. But most of them are on their last ropes. Most of them are beat up, battered, and bruised and taken out from their battles with the Monster Cadre and Garo. As we saw, Metal Bat and Flashy Flash just lost recently. Pig God is skinny. Child Emperor is out of robotics. There's still Zombie Man. There is still Amai Mask. Tatsumaki could potentially wake up and try and fight Garo a little bit. So there is a possibility of a couple more chapters of combat before we get into the big main event fight, which everyone is waiting for. But obviously, I will be covering that. I actually have some good videos coming out this weekend and next week talking about the fusion of God and Garo, which we could see in that fight. And I also did a video with plot armor, so you can go check that out on their channel as well. I'm Mastar. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.